Russians prepare to attack Kherson. Western philosophers support Ukraine. This and more in our today's episode. My name is Pavlo Shtelmach. Let's go. Russians are getting closer to Kherson, trying to find suitable spots for footholds on the right bank of the Dnipro, as Speaker of the Ukrainian Operational Command South, Voloshin, reported. Despite their efforts, no direct threat of reoccupation of Kherson emerged as of now. Imagine the number of casualties that will follow if Russians will try to cross a fortified river, in a mad attempt to continue their occupation of Ukrainian territories. Russian troops conduct 5 to 7 daily assaults with small infantry groups to probe weakness in Ukrainian defenses. Recent attempts have focused on islands near the Antonov Bridge. However, Voloshin dismissed the nation for the significant assault, citing the challenges of concealing large troop movements. Ukrainian officials warn of potential dangers, but maintain confidence in Ukraine's defensive readiness. Since its liberation in November 2022, Kherson and nearby settlements have endured frequent Russian strikes. Any credible threat of a renewed offensive would trigger additional evacuations, according to local authorities. And Russian 810th Separate Marine Brigade of the Black Sea Fleet, based in Sevastopol, are being transferred from Russia's Kursk Oblast to occupied Kherson Oblast, Telegram channel Crimean Wind reported on December 23rd. This poses additional danger to the Ukrainian city. However, most experts express doubt in the sole possibility of conducting assaults on Kherson with Russian forces, as their number is very far from the necessary to even cross the river en masse, and taking a city will require hundreds of thousands of personnel and thousands of equipment deployed. Some of you might know a Slovenian philosopher Slavoj Žižek from YouTube videos, memes, and popular culture. And he has written an article about Ukrainian War of Survival on the Kyiv Independent publication. And there he stated an opinion that so many people see but refuse to acknowledge. The war of Russia against Ukraine is not a local conflict for people, resources, and land. It's an existential and metaphysical conflict of all Western. The idea of Western and European civilization itself, with such values as human life, freedom, and care for life, against the opposite worldview, the worldview where human life is nothing but a mere necessity for the bigger state to function and project its power, thus securing good life for few, the leaders of such autocracy, and bad life for all else who service this gigantic machine of destruction. Well, if the governor of Kaliningrad exclave directly blames Immanuel Kant for Ukraine not giving up to Russia, what can we talk about?
Alekhanov described Kant as a spiritual creator of the modern West, responsible for ideas such as freedom, the rule of law, liberalism, and the European Union. If Ukraine resists Russia in defense of these values, Kant's philosophy indirectly supports Ukrainian resistance. Such statements, however outlandish, highlight the metaphysical stakes of the war. Slavoj Žižek, philosophy professor at the European Graduate School, in an article for Kyiv Independent.
The article is worth reading for general public. I'll leave it in the description to this video. The key distinction between Russia and Western Europe, according to Žižek, lies in their perspectives on death. As we've seen, Russia claims it doesn't fear death, believing in a divine power that will redeem its people in the afterlife, Žižek writes. Just remember the words of Russian patriarch of the glorious afterlife after dying for Russia and other nonsense, while in the West people value life itself and don't rush to meet death for a better existence in the afterlife. After all, people in the West already live very decently, while compared to other regions of the world, for example. And that is all for today's episode. Remember to think critically, don't let propaganda win, and care for life. Not to become the opposite side of the philosophy battle that is going on right now, not only on the battlefield of Ukraine, but also in the hearts and minds of all of us.